Hey everybody, and welcome to episode number 10, how to domino and dado your curved cabinet parts. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to go over the whole 9 yards. I'm going to show you how I domino and dado all these parts, how I lay them out on the templates, cut them to size, how I use the old jigs that we've had laying around forever that we used to make all these parts with to actually hold the pieces. Then we'll go over some tips and tricks on how to hold these things together and what I do and my thought process for the whole building of the situation is. All right, here we go. Thanks for watching. Here we go. We got the bird's eye view. Only took me an hour and a half to figure out how to get that camera up there and build something that goes up above me here so you guys can see this. What we're going to do right now is we're going to lay out all the door rails and cut them to size, and we got to get the angle correct. We got a little piece of the door style right here. And we're going to use this, and we're going to take this curved piece here and we're going to butt it into it. And then we're going to figure out what that angle is right there. The fastest way to do this, and which I've done several times before, is to lay this straight piece out on the curve where you want it. Okay, let it sit there, and you could double stick tape that down if you want. You don't have to. You take your curved piece and you follow the outside curve. All right, so it's laid out. You can see the inside curves right here, and it's pretty good. This is off a little bit, right, like that. So we're going to do that, and then you just, I don't know if you can see that gap right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to dissand that puppy till that gap is closed. So I'll be right back. When you dissand it, make sure you dissand the entire surface. And that looks delicious. All right, it looks perfect. So that looks good. So we're going to leave that angle there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with this piece. First we're going to cut this on the chop saw right here. I'm going to just eyeball it and cut it. I'm going to take this one and make them identical. Everything's flat, and then you just kind of scribe this last little bit. Like that. So you get a little bit of a mark up there, and I'm going to go dissand this just a little bit. All right, there we go, and we'll try this one too. All right, I'll put these together. Yep, that looks good. What I kind of want to do before I cut anything else is I want to domino this into here. So I want to domino these two together just to make sure that it'll work. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go get the domino and set it all up. So I'm going to try to biscuit these two together, or domino, using number 8x40 dominoes. They're kind of burly, and hopefully I can get two in there. We'll find out shortly, huh? I'm using the curved jig to help hold this up. When you're doing anything that's curved, it's kind of a strange thing because it'll rotate on there. You see how much it's wiggling? I don't want it to wiggle because that much right there will screw me up. So I'm going to put something on this piece here. I'm just going to take some of this edge tape and stick it on here out there because that thickness might help me out. All right, and this is sticky, so we're going to take this, go up 3 inches and kind of just stick that puppy on there. Cut some of this crap off. Yeah, that seems like it'd be more flat. You see that? A little tape on there. You always got to be thinking on your feet. Here we go, peoples. Wish me luck. So these are 6x40. Oh man, that's in there tight. It's cherry wood. Good golly. I have to beat that in there. Yeah, jig's good for something. Okay. There we go. These things are amazing. So the edge tape kind of worked. I'm going to put that over there. I might want to use that. Let's go right over there like that. It looks pretty good. Wonder if you can flip them around and see what it does. It's still pretty good. So I still have a little gap back here, and I can get rid of that when I clamp it. The front is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this like this. Okay, so this is the actual style that goes there. And I'm just going to zippy dopper that thing right there. All right, let's see if this fits. And then I'm going to lunch because I'm hungry. Oh yeah, look at that. And usually what I do is I'll actually use tape and I'll tape this shut. Okay, now that we got it under a little bit of pressure, and we're looking at the front curve. I don't know if y'all can see that, probably can't. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So when I go to clamp this up, so we're gonna do the same thing on that side. And you know, this one goes up here. We have to cut this to actual size. I haven't done any of that yet. I just wanted to experiment with this to see how it would work. The seam looks good. It's a little off, but that's okay, because sanding. I mean, it is a curved cabinet after all. The most important thing is that we get the front, this front curve, which is going to sit on this piece here, so it'll look pretty damn similar. So when they're together, they're not too wacky-dacky. No, it's pretty good right there. It sits on there nicely. It's not too out. We can sand it to fit both this way and this way. I'm going to lunch. All right, now that that's over with, we'll see you in a bit. Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. So I got this little tiny piece here. We can use as a template. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that this flat piece is as close to flat in this position here on this face frame. Okay, and then we'll just fit this to it. Okay, so we got a little bit of an angle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the edge sander. And I don't know where the center of this thing is. I'm going to go to the edge sander. I'm just going to sand it. That's kind of a gross exaggeration, but I'm going to sand it. I'm going to back sand it. Okay, so that's a lot better. God, if I had two cameras. All right, so that's pretty good. It's as flush as I can get it to the front as far as the curve goes. So I'm going to mark this with my little triangle. I'm going to mark the face of this. I'm going to cut this with a chop saw. I have to actually cut it backwards. And like the last one, I say this is the fence of the chop saw. I'm going to try to just eyeball that angle with the chop saw. Once we get this kind of figured out and dialed in, see that? The whole face of this, if you could see it. God, I wish I had another camera. I got a little GoPro, but they suck. So this all looks pretty good. I'm going to go get a GoPro. Hold on. I'm filming on the GoPro, so I'm going to put on there what you'll see. Or what I'm seeing. See, there's that one. And then we're going to put this one on there like this, and we have to cut this to there right there. And that's what I'm going to do next. Okay? Okay, so that one's already good to go. Come over here, turn that around. And the object is to get this as flat as we can to the front of this curved face. And it's open a little bit. GoPro. And see how it's open a little bit right there? Right here? All right, so I'm just going to take the back of the line off and just angle it till that's correct. Okay, so I'm going to go sand this thing real quick and I shall return. You want to sand the entire piece. You don't want to just sand off a little bit and then have saw curve from the front because it will not come out correct. And see, you got a little bit of a lip right here. Let's see if I move it around a little. And that we can get rid of with a little bit of sanding. Let me get the GoPro out again. Okay, there's the left one. So that looks pretty good. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make duplicate copies onto these parts here. All I'm going to do is this right here. I'm going to mark them so I can chop saw them. I'm going to cut them and leave the line. And then I'm going to dissand it to the line. I'm going to cut these on the chop saw, which is over here in the corner. So I'm just double checking all my cuts. Here's the top right. So there we go. These are all done. Now we just have to put dominoes in them. Oh, you know what? We're going to do this too. I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces here. So how this works is this piece here goes like this. And then we have to run a little dado in this Johnson so that it'll accept this part of the raised panel. But I have to chop this to size and fit it and get that on there. So it'll butt in like this. And now I'm going to lay these two together. And I'm going to transfer all my lines, these door lines, I'm going to transfer them onto here before I even cut them. and the stiles. So all the stiles I'm going to mark on there. So here's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to take this little square and we're going to transfer these lines over. And these are just sort of reference lines that are not set in stone. So that goes in there, something like that. And we'll try to fit everything so it all fits on the template. So I got this piece over here cut and grinded. And we're going to see how it fits. First I got to put this side on just to make sure everything's all copacetic. Clamp that guy up. And this one will be a little flexible. I think I'm just going to use this guy right here. Hopefully everything doesn't come falling down. Just to hold that puppy in place. Ah! I should clamp this down with something, but this is getting really flimsy. That lines up with the line pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, move this crap around here. So hold on a second. So this has got to go over. And boom. All right, flush there. I'm going to come over here and push this around. And that's flush there. All right, well, there we go. I had to do a little preparation this morning before we got to work. So I need to make two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood that are, one's the floor and one's the top. And this will mainly hold the whole thing together with a couple of cleats because there's plumbing on this side here and here. So what we have to do now is transfer this onto this piece of 3/4 inch plywood. Okay, so I'm going to just make a mark. And I'm going to double check this just to make sure it's absolutely square. And I'm just going to make a mark for right now. Now what we're going to do is put this behemoth on here that I used to make the drawer front with, like that so. I'm going to take this whole piece off of here. I'm going to kind of cut this roughly out. And then I'm going to attach this piece of 3/4 inch to this side over here. And I'm going to screw it from the inside. And I'm going to flush trim this hunk of plywood to this jig. Okay, so boom, there we go with that. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to attach this to this jig. I'm going to flush trim this with my little twister router with the double bearings on it. I have a straight line jig and I'm just going to flush trim these to the straight line jig. And after that, I'm going to take another piece just like this, do the exact same thing. The reason I did this like this and not the other way around and make a nice square corner is because I want the grain going like this. That's important to me. I don't like things looking strange when you open up the doors. I want the grain to go like it should be. So there we go. Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. I'm back. How are you? All right. That's a hell of a place to have a camera. I made a Domino face frame rail jig. So I screw this down to the top here. And I can use it up here too, I guess. And this just helps me have something to push into when I'm using this Domino machine. And help me line everything up and push up against it without having to try to hold this thing up in the air and all that craziness. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I just put that on there and kind of hold it in place. I line the line up with the line and flipper dipper. It actually helps me hold things in place. It's like a helping hand. Oh, they're all backwards. Dang it. And you can see that works pretty good. I like it a lot. So, however they all go. So that's the styles. And this thing works really well. And you just screw it down there and it gives you something to push against. It gives you something for this thing to rest on and push down on. And you're not trying to, hold things up with one hand, push down with the other, shove in, shove out. It's, all right, now for the hard part. These giggly wigglies right here are all crooked. Somebody made them curved and thought it'd be funny to put a domino in a curved piece of wood. And we did them right here. But to do that, we need to get the jig. Can't believe jigs are so damn heavy. They make jigs so heavy these days. Oh my goodness. Ugh. There it is. This guy right here. Not too bad. Or I do have the other jig. The other jig is much smaller. Wherever the hell I put it. Okay, so here's the other jig. This is one we made the other day on the boob tubes. I'm going to put this back over here because it's huge and in the way. And that's almost the perfect height right there, except for one problem. It needs to go up a little bit, so I got one of my little cauls that I have over near my clamps over there. And I'm going to do this, Johnson, just like this. Put a caul underneath there. I'm going to call it silly. And then the other thing I need to do, I got to put something back here so I can have a stop, just like that last one. Just put me a stop in there. Voila! There we go. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we got that. I'll hold it in place and put my gloves back on. And we're going to domino right there on these little parts. And hopefully it all works out. There we go, that's not too bad. Another thing I like to do when I'm doing curve stuff is to tape the thing. Me and my tape. I like to actually take the packing tape and wrap it around the whole thing. Yeah, and you can also use your face frame clamps to hold this flush, to make it more flush. All right, so this is the left door. I'm kind of lining, remember all these marks? See these marks right here? These are the style marks. And this is where the rail goes, and boom, hands down. I got my GoPro. Let me flip it on. Get some light over here. It's probably going to blind everybody. There we go. That's what it looks like. Cool, huh? Then we go from above. Right about there, I guess. Hey, you can see my hand. Hey, everybody. So what I have to do is I'm going to fill this in right here with, got to put a panel in here, just a flat panel, because the corbels go there. I have to put the dados in the doors for the raised panel parts. And I'm going to mark all the inside, and I'm just going to do this by hand. All right, so I'm going to mark the inside of this, like this here. So I just have to put a dado in here, and I built this little jig just for that. I'm just going to go in on one of those dominoes and then out on this domino. This is set from a 1/4 inch to there and a 1/4 inch deep because of that big ass bearing. All right, I'm going to go in right here. And that's basically it. That's pretty cool, huh? Hope it works. All right, do all the rest. It's much easier to plunge cut into a domino because it's already cut out than it is solid wood. And it makes it much easier to do. Next thing we're going to do is these guys. I marked an X where I want to put the dado. Clamp it here. Put a block down here to keep it from moving too. See the top first, just in case I screw something up, you won't be able to see it as much. So we're going to put this on here. I put two together because, and I put a board on here, so I've got something to push against this way and against that way. That way the bearing, I can push it this way and that way at the same time. Hope that makes sense. All right, I'm going to put double stick tape on there. Double stick tape is cheap. All right, I'm going to put this here. And the X is on the outside. Okay, now I don't have to worry about pushing that way, pushing this way, or this thing coming up and down, flipping around. Good golly. All right, let's hope for the best here. All right, here we go. How's it look? Check it out. It looks pretty good. 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. Whew, that was exciting. There, we got one. All right, I want to put that in here. I'm going to put that guy there. I don't know how well that's going to stick in there, but the X marks the spot on the outside. Here we go again. Nice and slow, try to balance. Okay. Woo! That's exciting. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, even right down to the end. So the skinny ones are a little harder to do. Yeah, people. So here's the bottom rail for the guest bathroom. I have to put the same kind of dado in right here for the next raised panel. So I'm going to do the same thing using the big jig. I'm going to take some double stick tape, stick this thing down, and I'm going to route up to this line here. And I'm going to come over here and plunge in here and then route out over there. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to help me hold myself up. Might as well make it a little bit more comfortable while we're here, huh? A little block under there so I don't have to bend over as much. Here we go. All right, a little bit closer. Done. So the next thing I got to do is bring the floors over, put some pocket screws in them and screw this to it and start building everything. All right. Hey everybody, how you doing up there? Oh gosh. All right, so today was a hell of a day. We got the doors together. I don't know if you can see I got them all rabbited out. I had shot it on the GoPro. And it lined up really well. And I taped the doors together because I didn't want the clamps on there. So here they are. All the curved doors are ready to go. And they're pretty tight just with tape on them. This tape works really good. So we also got all these parts all pocket screwed up, ready to go. There's the bottom floor. So it's all ready to be assembled. All right, people. Well, we'll see you soon. Tomorrow, assembly, hopefully, and we'll go from there. The next week's video, we're going to do nothing but the assembling of a curved cabinet. And that ought to be interesting. We'll fit all the doors, put the drawer front in there, the side panels, the whole thing, build the toe kick, put it all together, and hopefully it'll be all done. And then we'll get on to the storage cabinet. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Fling, flang, the bang, bang. You can do it now because they have toilet paper again. Yes. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments and the shares and the likes and all that stuff. All right, you have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love. And I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. And thanks for watching the Curved Cabinets of Bembo. All right, you have an awesome day. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Bye. This is nothing but Blooperville. Woo! Okay, here we go. Oh, Baxter farted. Good Lord, dude. You can also stick these in people's armpits too. You're like, what's in my shirt? I feel like I got a tag in my shirt. And you just sit there and laugh. I mean, you know, it's a bathroom, for God's sakes. I'm just going crazy, I think. I'm gonna switch this clamp out and get another one because it does that. It doesn't rotate very good. It's being difficult to work with, and when you're difficult to work with, nobody wants to work with you. So you get sit over there all by yourself. Thanks for watching. How am I gonna get that off the roof now?